There are many excellent orphanages that will be tarred with the same brush of unethical operations. How can we stop that from happening?
Well, thank you for having me here tonight, and thanks for that question. I'm going to say something controversial straight off the bat. There's no such thing as an excellent orphanage. What there is an orphanage that practices the best practice in the care of children in an institutional environment. What we do know from over 70 years of research is that growing up in an orphanage is inherently harmful for all children. It is bad for children to grow up in orphanages. It harms their emotional and their physical development, their cognition. It also results in impacts that are lifelong and intergenerational. And if we know that children do better in families and not in orphanages, then we should be putting all of our efforts into making sure that all children get to grow up in a family, which is their right. It is a right under the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child that children should have the right to grow up in a family, and if it is not their family, then another family. The question that's asked is a really common one. A lot of people have had very personal experiences and emotional experiences of volunteering in an orphanage, sponsoring children in an orphanage, visiting, and those experiences, when challenged, can result in really conflicted emotions and feelings about what you've done or what you might have done. But this argument between good and bad orphanages is really unhelpful. Certainly, there are really corrupt orphanages that actively exploit children for financial gain. Children are bought, sold, leased into and between orphanages. They're actively exploited in these places. They're starved because skinny, sick children elicit more donations than healthy, happy children. They're denied access to medical care for the same reasons, and education. Those orphanages are certainly bad, but there are orphanages run by very good people that have the best of intentions and only want to help. But the fact is there are better ways to care for children, and having tourists and volunteers come in and engage with these children on a short-term basis is really, really damaging for these children, and it's contributing to an industry that is worth millions and millions of dollars, and it's actually driving the separation of children from their families. So if we don't have orphans, we have to go out and get them to populate the orphanages to meet the demand for what we call orphan experiences. People want to help. They want to go and help orphans while they're travelling. But there aren't enough orphans. So we have to go and get them from poor villages. And that's where children are being trafficked. They're being coerced into coming to the orphanage. Their parents are being coerced under the guise of a better education or a better life. And in some cases, they're simply trafficked. So that question is a really, really hard one to answer, but what we need to know is that there are better ways, and there are many organisations out there that are trying to get kids out of orphanages and into homes and trying to prevent this kind of practice.